Hey there everybody, what is going on? My name is Aditya and welcome back to another brand new video regarding Semantic UI. Now in today's video we are going to be talking about buttons and how to use them effectively, various styles of buttons and everything like that. Now we are picking up from where we left off in the last episode. I just went ahead and opened up Semantic UI and opened this in my Chrome browser so that we can go ahead and get right into it. Okay, so very first of all I'm gonna remove this little line over here, and we are just gonna be going ahead and creating a little container. Now if you have used Bootstrap before, we need to center the elements a little bit just so that the visual style should look a little good. So what we are going to be doing is typing in there .ui, or basically it's a div. So div class is equals to UI container. Well, this is what you can do, but I'll be using some shortcuts in this video series like .ui .container. Well, I'll be posting a link down in the description to learn what exactly it is. It just goes ahead and creates the same exact effect, but it requires way more less typing, and I don't want to really spend too much work on the typing section. Alright, so whatever we're going to be writing is going to be in this little UI container right over here. So the very first thing that we want to do is create a button, a simple button, like just a clickable button through which we can get to some other links and stuff like that. So what you can do is put in their button class is equals to UI button. That's it. Now just type in here whatever you want to do. Hi, click me. Alright, so I'm just gonna save it and going to refresh this page in my browser. Okay, so there we have it. You can see that there's this little button created right over here, and just see how it's centered this element by putting it in the container, and it is quite centered. It looks visually good. I'm not here to talk about the designing really, but I just see the design as it should be looking good to the eye. So this is how you create a very basic button. Now what exactly we are going to be doing is we are going to be styling this button so much that we can create even our own text editor and stuff like that. So let's just say I want to color this button. So what I can do is in UI and button class, let's just say I want a red button, UI red button. As soon as I press F5, that is refresh key, I can see that this button is turned into the red. Now I can go ahead and change this to any color that I want. The whole list of colors is given up on the website of Semantic UI. You can simply just go ahead and check it out. It will be quite helpful for you, and you can simply just go ahead and change the button's color without even any single styling with the help of this thing. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do is just want to go ahead and invert this color, because let's just say I want to make a ghost button. Now there was this little trend back in the days of 2014 or so, that the ghost buttons were so popular, and even now they are, I think so, but I don't see them quite too much. So just to go ahead and illustrate how it looked like, I'm just going to go ahead and put in their basic word and just save this and press F5. Now you can see this button is inverted. It has the white background in it, but the color of the button is changed and everything is remaining the same. Now if I remove the blue from there, it just goes ahead and changes to gray. And let's just say let's just say any color, like say black. It will be a little bit more darker for me, and I can simply just click on that and the stuff like that happens. So this is what a very simple UI button looks like. So the next thing that we are going to be seeing in here is it is not going to be the little UI button only, but there are two different types of buttons, primary button and secondary button. So if you want to go ahead and make a primary button over here, I can simply put in there primary. And as soon as I press F5, there it goes. It is a primary button now. You can go ahead now. You can simply just say that, hey, I can simply use their blue UI blue button. But no, this is not going to be good enough for you, because in the later stages of your development, when you need a very primary color for your brand, I'll be getting over that topic a couple of weeks later, when we'll be about to complete this little series, and you'll be able to grasp the core foundation of semantic UI. But for now, guys, primary button is setting the primary color of your website. Now if you go to any website, let's just say the website is I don't know, you go to Book My Show, or you go to let's just take a common website like Netflix. You see the red color over there, and it is being used as a primary color over there on that particular website. And let's just say give an example about Google. Now if you go ahead and click on the link changes into something different, that is a secondary color. But primarily, all of the links are in the same color and in the same font on every single computer, and it is just the blue font, the regular blue font. So obviously, the primary color makes some impact on your design. So we are going to be using primary button over here. We can even use secondary button. Oops, sorry. And if I press just F5, currently by default it is set to blue and black color, and it's just like that. And I can even use basic with these guys, so that I can go ahead and make these buttons look inverted. I'm sorry. So you guys just saw it just turns into blue because it sets to primary. Okay. So the next step that we have here is animating the button. Now this is quite interesting because everybody wants to animate that particular button. I'm just going to be removing all of this thing regarding the buttons. So we are going to be creating a vertically sliding, horizontally sliding. Actually vertically sliding, I just checked it, but I don't know if there's some error in the CDN. I'll be not showing you guys the vertically sliding button because there's some error. I'll be showing you guys even what the error is, but there's vertically sliding, horizontally sliding, and the fading style of effect. These kind of effects can be created right within the button. You don't need any separate file for that. You don't need any separate CSS library. So let's just see how you can do it. So let's just say I have a anchor, UI, and button. For the sake of this little thing, I can put in their hash, I don't really care. And between this UI and button, let's just say I put in their animated. Now as soon as I put animated, two things happen. Okay, I guess I should not use here a, because anchor tag couldn't really make it properly alignable. I don't know what I'm talking about, but anchor tag won't really make it proper. Okay, so I'm gonna be putting here button. I'm sorry if you guys if I'm trying to copy up my same thing and you fucked up, but we are going to be using button, UI class animated button. So now inside of this I can use pretty much two different things, that is visible content and hidden content. Now what I really mean by these two is basically, when I say visible content, this content will be visible right on the button, and when I say the hidden content, this content will not be directly visible on the button, but it will be there. And as soon as you hover over it, it is going to be displayed to you. Okay, so visible content, let's just say I want to say next button. And actually this is exactly the same example from Semantic UI's website. So don't get me wrong, I'll be showing you guys even a little different example. Let's just say it is I dot arrow dot icon. Okay, now if you guys don't know what exactly I did right over here, well, I just created a little icon class over here. You don't really have to worry because we are going to be getting over icons in a couple of few days. But yeah, there we have it, guys. This is little button, and as soon as I hover over it, it goes to the next thing. Well, for some reason, I guess the icon is not okay. It's right arrow button icon. Now it should go. Okay, there we go. So as soon as you hover over it, it just goes ahead and displays that little sliding animation which you see normally on some websites. So it just makes it quite easy for you. Now let's just say I want that button to be fade, so animated fade button. Now as soon as I hover over it, it doesn't slide but it just fades in. Now the next thing we have here is not the animated fade button, but that I said there seems to be a little bug over here. I don't know if it will work properly or not. Yeah, it doesn't work still properly. The visible content is not going down, just the hidden content is coming up on the top. So that was the problem. But notice how it comes from the top of that button. It doesn't really come from the sideways, but it comes from the vertical sides. Okay. So this is all about the animations in the Semantic UI buttons. Now the next thing that I want to go ahead and cover up here in this little video is about the grouping of the buttons. So basically, you can group the buttons just like in Bootstrap. Well, what I can do is dot UI dot buttons. Actually it's buttons, and just go ahead and create a div class over there, a div tag over there, and put the class of UI buttons. You can go ahead and create even the okay, just go ahead and create the div class. I'm sorry. So by going down, you can just pretty much set up the buttons. So let's just say I want two of these buttons, UI button, and well, actually we are going to be creating 3 of these buttons. All right, so I guess I'm sorry. So inside of these, I'm gonna be creating 3 different icons. I class equals to, and it is going to be an icon, but first one will be pause icon, let's say. Second one will be play icon, and the third one will be, say, stop icon over there. And that's it. You just group these 3 buttons to look like just it is one button, but these are actually 3 different buttons. As soon as you hover over them, there are 3 different buttons over there. But it just makes this process quite way too much easy. This is completely semantic to you. That's what the library says. UI container, UI buttons, UI button, a pause icon, a play icon. Whereas in the frameworks like Bootstrap and Zurb Foundation, you had to do a ton of work over there. FA hyphen pause hyphen button icon, blah blah blah. It was just quite of work. But this gives a way more powerful library to you in just a little this little CSS file. Now let's just say I want to change these guys color to red. I can simply change this upper side's color to red to just go ahead and simulate these 3 are red. Well, obviously you can go ahead and do it like this, but I don't really recommend it because you can do it quite betterly right from over here. And notice how it says when I say basic over here, it just splits these into 3 different parts. But if I was saying the similar basic right over here, I'm sorry, right over here and right over here, these all would have been just completely merged together, and not even the color would work properly. So you should never just go ahead and do that kind of thing. So let's just illustrate how does that look. You know, it looks quite compact right over here. You know, actually it doesn't look that bad. Last time I tried it, it was completely merging with each other and the lines were not completely visible. These little vertical lines over here were not visible, but this looks quite good now. So you know, basic red button. I don't know what is the problem with this CDN, man. uh, but because I do use npm a lot for doing the semantic UI stuff, and I do just use some sets of these semantic UI, not all of these. I said that I'll be covering this into later videos, but you know, that's it for the video, guys. So this is how you use the buttons. You know, we just learned about grouping these buttons, we just learned about coloring these buttons, and yeah, there's just one more thing remaining. How can I forget about it? Okay, so let's just say you have a button which you want to be side changeable. Now you want to change the size of the button, and let's just say it's a loading button. I forgot about telling it to you. Well, there are several classes in semantic UI through which, you know, you can directly go ahead and put some things in there. As soon as you save and try to run it, you know, there's this little loading button over there. But you know, I'm just going to be showing you this little trick over here. Now if I want this button to be tiny, I can simply put in there tiny, and you can see how this button just shrinks over there. And let's just say I want this button to be massive, and if I press F5, you know, this button goes ahead and grows up completely huge. That's another thing that you have to use. And then there's so many like large and, you know, small. And if you want just normal size, you know, just like me, you can simply just go ahead and remove everything like that. And so that's it for the video today, guys. We just learned about resizing the buttons, we just learned about animating them, coloring them, putting directly the loading icon as soon as the button starts loading something. You know, I'll be covering this kind of stuff in the future videos, like how do you implement this on the server side, and how do you make it like seem like, you know, you're just making an Ajax query request. This is a kind of different thing, but you know, I think so I should learn to stick to the point, because I think so I'm just moving far away from the point. But that's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you loved this, just go ahead and hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and peace out.